Trump also said just a couple of days ago, he doesn't care what you have to say. Your response to that?
Well, it's not about him or me. It's about putting Canada first. He's made it clear he wants to put America first. I'm making it clear I want to put Canada first. And that means that we have to develop our own infrastructure to export our energy and resources to the rest of the world without going through the U.S. We have to allow more interprovincial free trade in our own country so that we can actually trade across provincial boundaries. And I would say to President Trump, I will retaliate with trade tariffs against American goods that are necessary to discourage America attacking our industries. I'd rather we work together, though.
Right.
Because if we do, we can have a bigger, stronger economy, and I will use the strength from that enhanced trade relationship to build our military, secure our borders, and help America, just like Canada, become safer, richer, and more secure.
I think it's a fascinating way to approach it. And you say it's not about you or Trump. Mm-hmm. If you are the prime minister, you do have to have that working relationship. Mm-hmm. So do you think that's a good tactic if he does make good on some of those tariffs that he's saying? That could really hurt Canadian industries, right?
Unfortunately, it will. And it will hurt Americans as well. And so I will be making the case to the Midwest refineries that take in our oil. We send $100 billion of Canadian oil.
For cheap.
For $15 below market price. We're giving that energy to the Americans, and then they're reselling it at a huge profit. Frankly, if he cuts off his refineries and LNG plants from our resources, then there are going to be a lot of unionized American workers who are going to be out of a job, and many of them voted for President Trump. So I'm going to say to him, look, you're better off, and your workers are going to be way better off by deepening our trade relationship, not attacking your best friend in the world.
Canada's strength comes from its unity, but also its loyalty. That is not a suggestion, it's a fact rooted within our history. Through every challenge and every adversity, we have stood together as one nation, and that's how we have succeeded through time. But when Premier of Alberta Danielle Smith decided to meet with Donald Trump, acting as though Alberta operates outside of the Canadian nation, she didn't just challenge that unity, she betrayed it. Smith's trip wasn't a bold strategy or a clever move. It was a glaring miscalculation and an insult to the collective efforts of this country. While other provincial leaders worked collaboratively to defend Canada's interests, Smith broke ranks, prioritizing Alberta's oil interest and industry over a united Canadian response. The result? She weakened Canada's negotiating position and embarrassed not just herself, but every Albertan on the global stage. Doing so, she has also shown that Alberta is not in line with Canada, but is rather the weak link within our line of united provinces. And that is going to be exploited by a person like Trump. Let's be clear, Alberta is critical to Canada's success, but its prosperity is inseparable from the strength of this nation as a whole. No province thrives in isolation, and no leader has the right to jeopardize our collective standing out of desperation or poor judgment. Aligning with a figure like Trump, who has torn up agreements and trade agreements without hesitation, doesn't show leadership. It shows naivety. This isn't how Canada operates. This isn't how leadership works. By putting her political ambitions ahead of the national good, Smith didn't just undermine her fellow Canadians, she handed a gift to those who would want to exploit our divisions. Canada thrives when we are united. Every province, every citizen plays a role in our shared success. Leaders who fail to grasp this fundamental truth are not fit to lead. Danielle Smith's actions are a stark reminder of what happens when self-interest and arrogance replaces the national loyalty. Canadians deserve better. Alberta deserves better. Leadership is about standing firm with your country, not bending to the pressures and whims of foreign interests. If Smith can't stand with Canada, she has no business leading Alberta. As Pierre Poilievre said, Canada united, Canada first, Canada strong. That's how it's always been, and that's the only way forward. Canada first, Canada forever.